All right, what up, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of These Corona Times. You are tuned in with your three favorite folks, Mr. Marcellus Brandon Howard.
Oh, so you got me first today.
But my
Oh,
boxes are out of order. See, my boxes are thrown off. Okay. So you got
Thank you. What's
Mr.
up, folks?
Brandon.
Yes.
I want to give
Marcellus
him all his time.
Brandon Howard.
Marcellus Brandon Howard, folks.
The one and only.
Dr. Simone, of course, and then the one and only Tiffany. We are in the building.
New glasses, new hair done too.
New glasses.
I know.
All new.
A little bit.
Well, as always, we want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for joining us. We are coming to you almost live and direct, pre-recording, but when you watch it on Monday, it'll be live to you.
Yes.
But we want to thank you all for watching with us on episode 31?
Two. Is it
32, I believe.
Yeah, it's 32.
32.
Yep,
we should
32.
be putting that number 30. We should be putting. I'm gonna start writing down episodes.
It does show up when we show these.
Yeah,
it does show
true.
episode 30, number 32. So yeah, thank you for tuning in for episode number 32. Thank you for watching with us on last week. We appreciate your comments, your likes, and your shares. As always, you can find us on YouTube and Facebook at These Corona Times. So we appreciate just your loyal subscriptions and also your great conversations as we have watch parties. Those are always welcome.
Yes.
And I saw someone just like an hour or so ago liked the page on Facebook. So thank you again for the support, for real. We really appreciate it. Every day or every other day is somebody. People I don't even know, folks.
No, I go and search them like, who is this person?
Who is this? Folks, and they just like it. So I'm glad about that.
One day when we get some stuff that starts with the letter M and rhymes with Urch, we're gonna give it out to people who like us.
I'm ready. I've been ready. We've been ready. But we have so many. The list goes on and on in terms of what we have prepared for you all. And one of those things, I think we put out a message the other day about our singles panel search in February. It's Valentine's Day, and so we're trying to have a panel. We're all married. We're all washed up.
Yeah, we're all washed. We're all washed.
I am so washed up in here.
We are washed.
I'm less washed, but I'm still washed.
And we want to talk to the singles. So we have a panel search going on. We have one person who's confirmed, and we're hoping for others. So if you are interested and you're single, and that means you could be dating somebody or not dating, but if you're not not married.
Yes.
And
you're single until you are married, folks.
Right. Well, some people have a different thought,
but
yes.
Yes.
So for our purposes, yes. So please, if you're interested, please comment during the our watch party that's happening as you're watching it. Go ahead and put yourself out there.
Comment right now,
and we'll contact you. So yes, moving on along. Y'all, it's late. We're not doing this at the normal time that we do it. So
I know. Yeah, we're thrown off today.
Fine. So we are acknowledging a Black business or a person of color who's doing something wonderful in our community. Wait, go back a second. We didn't talk about self-care. Did we talk about that?
We did not talk about self-care. No.
Let's do that first. Let's do that. So how did y'all take care of yourselves this past week?
Mr. Brandon, since you've been first all evening, you want to go first?
I didn't take care of myself all week. Not at all. This was like my worst self-care week in weeks. I stayed up late working. I didn't work out my normal because I was up early working. It wasn't a good look this week. Wasn't a good look.
Sometimes it be like that.
Yes, that's very real. It happens. I continue to kind of rest up. I was recovering from a cold last week, so I want to emphasize that cold, not COVID. I had a cold. So I was recovering from a cold last week, so I wanted to continue to kind of rest and quarantine this was the first full week of work, I think, for Simone and myself, because we were both off
Yes.
last
Mhm.
Monday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, just trying to keep in the boundaries. I did say this year I wanted to go to bed at a decent time, not as early as Brandon, but earlier than I usually go. And then, get back on the schedule of getting up at a decent time. And then also stopping the side hustle stuff. Like, we do a lot of that, all three of us, trying to end that at a decent time during the week. So I'm not just working all hours of the night. So that went very well this week. So
I think my self-care was, I did take a bubble bath, which I love.
Yes. How hot was the water?
It was pretty hot. I
Was
like
it
the water.
burning?
I like it to burn my skin just
do
before
too.
the flesh starts to burn. It's
Flesh just melting off while you in the
melting
tub.
off, and then it's perfect.
Yes.
And I have a little glass of ice water on the side, just to cool myself
to bring
off a
the
little bit.
temperature
That, and then also getting to bed earlier. I have been really tired, and so I've been allowing myself to rest. But it's not gonna last. I will be up to my 2-3 a.m.
It's coming back soon.
It'll be back soon. Okay. All right.
You feel so much better, Simone?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I do. So yeah, for sure. Okay. So now that we talked about self-care, now we can go on to acknowledge our person of color. So we want to remind you all, of course, about the Cooking with Callie and the coupon code. So Tiffany, help me out with this. So if you go to the website and you order, if you use the code Corona Times, and it's all one word, and it's lowercase, then you get 15% off. Okay, is that correct?
That is all correct. You did great.
And it does work, because I went to go do an order and it did go through. So it works. Go ahead.
Do you want to share? I know there's another code on her website that says you get $5 off for like a New Year code.
Yes, New Year.
You can't use both of them, so you have to pick
one or the other. And you get off more with the Corona Times.
Yes, use that one.
Obviously, 5% versus 15. Yes.
Yes.
And the other thing that we want to highlight is, do we have a visitor?
We have a visitor.
Oh,
hey,
we have a visitor.
That's your guest. Oh my gosh.
Josiah, he's up late.
Hello.
He is up late. He's telling me good night. Good night, big boy.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Look how he shunned you.
Hey, Josiah.
Say hi.
Hi.
Oh.
He always says no at first, and then he'll be like, "Okay, I'll say hello."
What I want to know is, how you gonna come on our show and not say hi?
I know.
Close the door, please.
That's rude.
I love that. Okay, well that made me feel better. Now I feel a bit better. So we also want to highlight a fundraiser that's going on for Tiffany's cousin-in-law, whose name is Bubby. He has been battling stage 4 high-risk neuroblastoma, which is a cancer, since 2015. And there is a Facebook page and a GoFundMe account to help raise money for him. And 100% of all funds raised will go directly to the family. I don't think I've met. No, I have. I've been in a space with Bubby a couple times, but it's just we believe that God can work miracles and can heal him 100%. And we also want to help his family, with whatever they need financially during this difficult time.
Bubby was one of the ring boys in our wedding. We had 3. I think we had 3 of everything on some stuff. So Bubby was one of our ring boys. He was 4 or 5, I think, at the time. His 8th birthday is actually next Saturday, the 30th. So, but just before Christmas, the doctors have told Bubby's family that he doesn't have much time. We don't know how much time, because as Simone said, we just believe God for everything and anything, and miracles can always happen. So we don't know how much. We want to make sure that whatever time he has left, that he enjoys it to the fullest. And again, with his birthday coming up, we wanted to put these fundraisers out there. So if anybody listening wanted to help, there are 2. One is called Fighting All Monsters. That is a organization that's sponsoring a fund for Bubby. And then there's the one that's put on by our family, his mother, and my husband actually put it up on GoFundMe, and we'll be sharing a link if you'd like to give toward that. And as Simone said, all funds will go to helping him celebrate every day, and then also planning for whatever comes next, whatever that may be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely, please pray for Bubby and the family.
Yes.
Please add them to your prayer list, Bubby. Thank you.
For sure. Brandon, do you want to orient us to the episode?
Yes. About all things inauguration. We're going to be talking about the artist, the fashion, Bernie Sanders and his mittens. What does it actually mean? Do you feel hopeful? Are you optimistic about what's going forward? Are you still a little pessimistic? What are our thoughts? Are we worried? Were you worried during the inauguration? So just a lot of just kind of our feelings, because I watched a little bit of it. Actually, I watched the main service. I know.
Something?
I actually watched something. Yes, I watched it. I watched the swearing in and everything like that, and I know that you two ladies watched quite a bit as well. And I think we have another visitor.
We do. Ava. Hello. Hi. I saw you having your ice cream the other day.
It was yummy.
I know it looked yummy.
Did you get 2 scoops?
One.
Oh, Daddy messed up.
Right.
He messed up.
Night.
Good night, Ava.
Close the door, please.
I love kid sightings. I also love.
My brother says hi too.
Who?
Hi, Josiah, her brother.
Oh, hi, Josiah.
I'll tell him you said hi.
This is so y'all know, Corona Times is not scripted at all. It
Not
is
at all.
extremely real.
Extremely super real.
It's extremely real. Our cameras freeze up. The kids come in. Spouses walk through the door anytime.
Listen, I told y'all my kids be busting through the door like the Kool-Aid man.
That's what they do.
That's because they don't want to go to bed neither. You know, they try to find any.
They're
sure
hungry and thirsty and got something to tell you.
I just want to love you.
Right.
Oh man. Okay. So we're talking about the inauguration.
Back on track.
Yes.
You know what?
So,
I for one just feel happier. You know, my mood has been lifted. I haven't had to watch the news as much. It's only been like 3 or 4 days, and I just feel it's a new day. Like the pages are turning.
How crazy is it? And we know the bar is low. We know that. But I don't wake up in the morning because I listen to NPR on the way to running my errands, this, that, and the other. And almost every day, it's been every day for the last 4 years has been, this is what he's doing. Talking about Trump. And I know we're talking about him a little bit now because he's in, Biden now, because it's the very beginning of the presidency. He's doing a lot of executive orders and this, that, and the other. But it's not necessarily like, oh my gosh, what is he doing now? And it's like it's just whether you believe Democrats are better than Republicans or Republicans are better than Democrats, we know that at least for right now, everything is taken down like 500 notches.
Yes, the fever has broken.
Yes.
It's just there's more calm. I mean, I feel like we legit have been in an uproar and an outrage for 4 years, and now it's just like I don't even know if I heard anything about Joe Biden. I didn't hear anything. I didn't. Usually it's inescapable to hear about the White House, but we didn't hear anything. And I tried. We was watching the news last week, like Thursday, Friday. I was like, just turn it over. It's boring.
It's not even exciting anymore.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, there's nothing to see here.
Yeah, but as for the inauguration, I thought it was perfect. I loved it. It was beautiful to see all that representation. I was worried and scared because I was, because all the foolishness that happened the week prior or the week before. I can't even remember.
2 weeks.
2 weeks prior, and all of the promises to cause more problems. Like they were legit saying like, "Hey, we're gonna come back." So I was worried about that, but it was great. I loved it. I thought it was.
And for me, I was I was one of those folks that was like, we don't need an inauguration.
Right.
Put this, make this
Zoom.
virtual.
Yeah.
We don't just have Biden, have Kamala, just have them in a room, swear them in, and do
And go
everything
on.
else, and just do it. Let's just do it all that way. But the way they
Mhm.
did it, I was actually, I was like, okay, this is actually
Mhm.
pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
Mhm.
And some
Mhm.
stuff was done virtual, like the concert in the evening. They usually have the
Yep.
different balls going on. They had a whole virtual concert, and they had fireworks after. That was really nice that they did that. But I know Simone was arguing for a Zoom everything. She was like, "Can we not
Yeah.
swear in by Zoom? We don't have to. We don't have to have people out there."
It's the same thing when Barack got inaugurated. I didn't want him and
I didn't
Michelle
want
walking out in the street. I was like,
no.
please no, because all we
Mm-mm.
needed somebody. All we needed is a stray bullet.
Yeah.
And so it was the same thing. But I know that folks was locked and loaded, and that they were very, very protected. So
Yeah.
I'm just.
I can say this now, but my brother, we had him on the show
Mm-hmm.
before. He was up
Mhm.
there helping to keep things safe. So thank
Mhm.
you to all the our
Mhm.
military folks for being up there and helping out.
Yes,
Yeah. We
absolutely.
appreciate. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. And you didn't see them. Yeah, I didn't notice any of the people, who were protecting them. They were there, but they were discreet, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it went well. It looked like it went off without a hitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
What channel y'all watch it on?
I
CNN always
watched.
for me.
Of course.
I watched
I shouldn't even have asked.
C-SPAN.
Shouldn't even have asked.
I cheated on CNN. I watched C-SPAN. I usually don't, but I was in the midst of someone else. They wanted to watch C-SPAN, so.
Mhm.
I actually watched PBS.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
they had a pretty good stream going.
So can I
Mhm.
ask y'all, since we watched all different ones, there was a couple times when there was like different things talked about in the speeches, like about diversifying and not arguing and not fighting and not cheating and stuff, and they would just like cut the pence on mine. It was like every time they say something negative, be like Pence, camera on Pence, camera 3. How's he doing over there?
I didn't notice any shade.
They did that. They did that like a little bit, very little on PBS, very little, but it was hilarious because Pence was looking so uncomfortable, boy.
Man,
He did, but I'm glad he
none of his
came.
allies was there. None of his people.
None of his peoples was
supposed
there.
people.
He was so alone. Yeah.
No, you know what I did notice though is that on CNN, old grumpy Jake Tapper, he actually has been smiling more lately, and it looked like his face don't know what to do with the smiling. But
I know.
they made a couple of comments about and we're here and everyone is here, but the president, he decided not to come because for whatever reason. So
For whatever reason. He can't be with us today.
like all of the shade.
That's crazy, man. And you know what? Really, really and truly, Barack's his first inauguration was like over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Because it had to be
It
had to be. He first black president, possibly only black president ever.
We'll see.
First black president that we've had, and it was over the top and very exciting. I was actually kind of glad that it wasn't. It was just like, it seemed like they got done with things pretty quickly.
It did. It moved along very well, very swiftly.
Absolutely. Even with all the chaos going on behind all the unknowns. What about the outfits? Everybody's going on and on about Michelle Obama's outfit. It was the day of the long jacket.
It was.
Yes. It was cold.
It was cold.
As evidenced by Bernie Sanders. It was freezing.
Listen, Bernie Sanders is like 80 years old.
He's
care. Like, listen, I got things to do. It's cold outside. Let's get this over with.
But
I bet you was warm. I bet you was warm.
He was. I guarantee you, his wife, she did those mittens.
She made them
knitted that morning.
She made them.
But this how crazy. This how crazy his team is. They put them shirts out. They sold them. They sold the sweatshirts, right? They are sold out, and 100% of the profits go towards Meals on Wheels Vermont.
I'm
So
not mad at all.
Really?
even in this craziness, Bernie Sanders is looking at ways of redistributing money. So I really respect him for doing that. I respect him and his
100%.
team for
He,
doing
yeah,
that.
he capitalizing on the moment because he is the most popular thing
Yes.
of the inauguration right now.
Yes.
Michelle was looking good. I mean, she had that
Beautiful.
hair laid up real nice.
He had that flip, that little.
Boy,
I
she
love
curls
it.
were
looking
bouncing.
good.
Yeah.
But Jill Biden, though.
Those high heels.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Jill with the
So,
heels.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I saw some earlier pictures of Jill Biden, boy.
I saw some earlier pictures of Joe Biden. Let me just
So,
Joe Biden.
Jill.
You got to go way back. You got to go way back.
Yeah,
All the way back.
way
Okay.
back,
Okay.
way back, way
But
back.
Jill, yes.
So it was like a black and white picture of Jill, and I was like, oh,
Brandon
Jill.
Burns for Jill. He
Brandon
burns.
Burns for Jill.
Whoa. Stop. You're not going that far.
That's a Bridgerton reference, y'all.
Bridgerton,
Bridgerton.
yes.
I don't burn for Jill, but I see what Joe Biden sees.
And she's younger than him, right? She's
Yes, she is.
keeping Joe young is what she's doing over there.
Right.
Hey.
Right.
Hey, I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad.
I know this is a little bit off script. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but the fact that he's been through so much personal tragedy and has been through so much for me, that does something. It does something for me. It like humanizes him.
Yes.
Yes.
And I don't know if it would be as profound of a feeling for me had we not had Trump, because he so doesn't seem to understand tragedy or loss or empathy in the way that I've just seen different clips of Joe show empathy and love and care for people he doesn't even know.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know, it makes me feel hopeful about his presidency and what he'll do for other people.
If Joe, for me, I'll be the first to say Joe Biden was not my favorite candidate, and I'm not mad about saying that or anything along those lines. But the one thing that you can say about Joe is that he has compassion for people, and he loves people, and all the, like you said, some of the tragedy that he's had with his son and everything like that. That's just, it makes me like, okay, I'm a dad now. I get those feelings that that you have, and I'm not saying I relate to Joe Biden anyway, because I don't, but there's a little bit more of a connection there than with maybe another type of candidate.
Yeah.
I think part of being a politician is you want to try to connect with the people as much as possible. So you can try to have the people see themselves in you, or at least see that, if opportunities or circumstances would permit itself, your paths might cross, in real life. And I think that's what I get from Joe, like the stuff he talks about overcoming loss, like losing his first wife and his daughters in a horrific car accident years ago. And then, the very public passing of his son who had cancer, that happened while he was in office, I believe. Was that still when he was vice president? I think it was near the end of vice presidency.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, but it was not that long ago. It wasn't
that long ago. Yeah, but going through something like that and then just really sharing and recognizing, because many of us have lost people, and I'm even sure Donald Trump has lost people. And that's places where I feel like there were times when Donald Trump could have used things to connect. He lost his brother during COVID.
And didn't say too much about it. He sure did. I forgot about that. He was the baby. I think he was the baby brother.
There are things he could have used, I think, to connect with the American people, and he just never did. I'm always just going to see him as a rich businessman who wound up being president, and he never found a way to connect with the rest of America.
Yeah.
And I feel like Joe's different. Like I don't know him personally. As Brenda said, I can't really identify with him. He's a 70-plus-year-old white man, but
rich white man,
right.
Rich,
right. But I do at least feel like he listens to people, and he would try to hear his story and at least be sympathetic, have some empathy for people.
Yeah, and some of the things that he's already, on day one, the man, he went to work signing stuff. Some of those things I think show what we're talking about. His concern for middle class folks, lower SES folks, and people of color. He talked a lot about those things. So I know we're gonna talk about that later, but So we talked. We also don't hear Trump's farewell speech. Anyone? I watched it a little bit. I'm not gonna say
I
much.
missed it.
He had. Why does he keep playing YMCA? I don't.
His jam.
Oh my! So he was late coming out the White House, which held Joe and all them up from going to church. He finally flies over to the air base, does a little speech there, which was full of a bunch of mess, and then he flies on the big plane off to Mar-a-Lago. And as that was going off, the Frank Sinatra song, "I Did It My Way" was playing.
See,
out of corny.
Out of touch.
Out of touch.
Right. That's all I got to say about that. Goodbye and good riddance and farewell.
Yeah. I didn't even realize he was
Deuces.
giving one because a lot of folks have stopped covering things that he does. So
Good.
because I mean, there's such a risk of him saying crazy stuff. I don't think anybody's trying to hear him or give him a large platform to speak anymore. I did hear that he left Joe a note.
Yeah.
And Joe just said it was a very generous note. He did not say what it concerned. He just said it's a very generous note.
If it was a generous note, he ain't write it.
Look, Mike Pence probably wrote it for real.
Probably. Now I haven't verified this, but I heard that Trump told all the butlers and stuff to go home. So Jill and Joe was supposedly on the porch of the White House. They couldn't get in. I don't know if that's true.
Hey, did y'all hear?
I read that today.
Did y'all hear about Trump's Diet Coke button?
No.
Apparently, and I haven't verified this, but it's one of those deals where you just see stuff on social media, and apparently Donald Trump had a Diet Coke button, and he would press it, and somebody would bring him Diet Coke, and Joe Biden had that uninstalled. So,
I'm gonna go look that up. That better not be true.
It probably was.
There's got to be some things. They're like, Mr. President, no.
No, when he had guests, he would have like a smorgasbord of McDonald's, like just like Big Macs and fries, just delivered for everybody.
Terrible. Moving on from him. Moving on.
we talked about the fashion. We covered the fashion.
Yes.
How did y'all feel about the performers? Like.
I'm sorry. It is true, and it is gone.
You looked it up?
Good. Okay.
I just looked it up. It's gone.
I cannot believe the audacity. He didn't have a little fridge in there under the desk.
He wants you to bring him one over ice, fresh.
Presidential. I'm sorry, but go ahead. I cut you off.
You're good. The performers.
Yes. How did y'all feel about the performers? Look at Brandon's face.
Brandon, your post said it all, but I think you got some heat under your. I like the post. Some people didn't like the post, but I liked it. No, J-Lo. She looked beautiful.
J-Lo looked great. J-Lo looked great. The rings on her finger were enough to blind anybody. She was blinged out. She was in that all white. She looked great. But they could have got anybody.
She come a long way. She's come a long way.
Jenny comes from the block,
Let's see. Who else could they have gotten?
I will say this though. Shouts to Stevie Mackey from Oakwood College. Oakwood University now, but Oakwood College when I went there. He's been working with her, and she sounded better.
She sounded way better.
There's no doubt about it. She sounded better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
I think the consensus is they didn't sound horrible.
No.
Better singers that you could have asked.
We've heard better. We had the the Beyoncés, the Jennifer Hudsons who have done inaugurations. Like we've heard, and so it's just
Fantasia wasn't available.
Fantasia, she's pregnant right now. Maybe she couldn't make it.
Oh, she was.
That's when you really
I know that.
That's when you sing from your belly. You gotta have them in there at the end.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. None of us are singers. We're not singers. We know. We listen. We come from a place where people sing well.
Yes, and where we judge people harshly.
Good singing.
You could have had Keisha Dorsey up there.
You could have had Keisha. They could have had Keisha.
Yes, could have had Keisha. Could have sent her.
Next time.
Yeah.
For Kamala, we'll have Keisha.
You know, I'm just gonna say 1 out of 3 ain't bad. I probably am the only one who appreciated Garth Brooks in this circle here. Garth's my boy. Garth's
Oh
my boy.
God.
I appreciated you, Garth.
That man
Oh.
rolled up. That man wrote all them folks is in the freshest of the fresh. And he rode up there with his Wrangler outfit. Man, come on.
He said ain't nothing changed. I'm a country
boy.
singer.
He's a country boy.
But he could have put on one of those nice ruffled shirts they wear with.
Could have put on some khakis.
They don't wear those ruffled shirts no more.
Why not? He had the hat on.
Could have put some khakis on.
The hat with the little.
I'm gonna need y'all to get off my boy. I'm gonna need y'all to get off my boy.
Some boot cut khakis.
I'm gonna need y'all to get off my boy. Okay.
Well, it was cold out there. One of the singers that wrote on the post and said it's cold and it's hard to sing. So
Hey,
I certainly couldn't do it.
real
certainly
talk
would
though,
never
I
do it.
ain't. Hey, Tiff, you know we did a virtual concert right at about 5 months ago. I ain't seen no folks changing out those them singing pads or the microphone pads. I ain't see that.
Yeah.
Mm.
They wasn't switching them. I
They
mean,
switching
I saw
them out.
somebody wiping down the podium. That
They
was
did
good
wipe
they
down
was
the
doing
podium.
Down
that.
the podium, but it wasn't
Yeah.
wiping down the mics.
Yeah. I don't know about that. Mm-mm.
Yeah. But you know, they all look pleased with the singers and the performers.
It could have been worse. I've heard worse. I've heard
Yeah.
worse.
I've heard.
I've
worse.
heard the American anthem be butchered. You know,
Ooh, yeah,
heard
that's
it be
true.
awful.
I love Lady Gaga though. I love her voice.
I do too. I do like her voice.
She's
And I
good.
love her. Yeah, her
She's
outfit
crazy,
was
but
nice.
she good.
It is, and her outfit was extra, but it was less extra than back in the day with the meat suit. Remember, she wore the meat.
Yes. Yes.
I thought she looked nice.
Yeah, she looked
She
nice.
did.
She looked nice.
What about seeing Michelle and Barack?
I
That
always
was-
get chills
I do.
because I do
Yeah.
burn for Barack.
Hey, Simone, over this last week, I'm gonna just have to ask you for real. Who don't you burn for right now? Like,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay.
I'm burning for a wide range of
Wide
men
range
right
people.
now.
The Duke, Michael Ealy. It doesn't
Yes.
matter. The Barack.
Barack.
Jordan from All American. Like, what's good?
It
Yes.
doesn't
I
matter.
burn for Jordan.
Thank you, Bridgerton, for giving us new language to
Yes.
use. We burn for them.
If you haven't watched Bridgerton, you need to watch it.
You need
If you
to
haven't
watch
watched
it.
it.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be real. Every time I see Barack and Michelle, regardless of what you think about his presidency, that was just, you saw one of us in the highest position in the world, man. That's just
Mhm.
Such a
that's
good
just
feeling.
crazy.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's over. That was 8 years. of
8
that.
years. 8
So-
years.
8 years, and that was 4 years ago. So we were, 12 years ago, we elected him. That was his first
Yeah.
inauguration.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it feels like forever ago, but when I see them, it's just a reminder, Black excellence, like
Mhm.
totally. And it's 4 years after, and there's still not a terrible thing you can say about either one of them.
No.
Mm-mm.
You can disagree with his policy. You can disagree with how well he, how much of a president he was and the other, but as far as him as a human being,
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
not saying he's flawless. Everybody got skeletons in the closet,
Things,
but
yeah.
you can't say nothing really
But
bad
no
about him.
secret children, no scandals. They
No,
still
Michelle
look
wasn't.
happily married.
They
you know.
look so much like they're a team, holding the hands
Yes.
and all of that. I love it. It makes me feel a lot of pride when I see them.
Mhm.
And I'm
Mhm.
glad Kaden knows who they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was president when he was born. I'm like, yeah, your president is still Barack. Just
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And it was just nice seeing. I feel like this was just the whole inauguration was like, for me, a return to decorum, return to tradition. Like there was a lot of talk about just uniting, and it was good to see Bill and Hillary. It was good to see George W. It was good to see George W. Hugged up with Michelle.
Listen,
'Cause that's where he's always
if
at.
George W. ain't gonna do nothing else, he gonna find Michelle.
He gonna
he
find
burns
her.
for her.
He burned, boy.
burns for
Boy, Barack better watch his back.
Brack
You know,
ain't got
it,
nothing to worry about, but yeah.
nope. It was just nice. It just felt like I saw a meme of like the Harris Imhoff family and
Yeah.
the Bidens waving like on the steps of the Capitol, and it said the adults have returned to the conversation. And I was like,
Yes.
thank you, like thank
Yeah.
God.
Thank you. Absolutely. I mean, our first lady, Melania Trump, in the middle of some disaster. Do you remember she wore that coat?
The coat,
I don't
yeah,
care. Do you remember
yeah,
that?
yeah,
I
Like,
remember that.
what in the world was that? You don't remember that?
I remember that.
Go look that
yeah.
up. It was in the middle of, I think it's
I
something
think
happened in
it's
Puerto Rico or
I think it was when they
throwing
had the
paper towels.
yes, yeah. She had this jacket on. She was like, it says, I don't care, do you? And she was trying
Oh
to say,
shoot! I really don't care. Do you?
yeah.
What?
Yeah, like,
It's,
come on.
and she's like, oh, it's a it's it's just fashion, but she wore it such an odd time,
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness!
The one
Poor,
time you
just
go out and be
very poor.
photographed, you have that jacket
So
on.
the adults have come back to,
Hmm.
the adults are in charge because that was tasteless and, we don't need that.
Yeah, yeah. And as we were watching, I was just so glad to see everybody was wearing masks. Like everybody, even Mike Pence was wearing a mask. That's like, look at
He was
him.
outnumbered. He was no
He's
longer
grown
pressured
so
not
much.
to.
Right.
Yeah.
He been wanting to
No
wear a
longer.
mask forever.
The
And
whole
he's like,
time
oh,
he was wanting
finally.
to wear a mask. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Listen, science is back in the White House now.
Yes. Fauci is no longer being second guessed.
Hey, y'all see
He is
how
in a
good
position of power.
Fauci's smiling now? Fauci's smiling.
Fauci's glowing.
Fauci. There was some videos of Fauci, during Trump, and he was just. And now he just smiling and everything. Hey.
Right. He's like, man, I hope, because he wouldn't have known what he was going to say. I mean, one minute he's saying inject bleach and a strong light into you.
UV lights.
I mean, what do you do with that?
When those UV lights hit you on the inside.
On the inside, it kills it in a second. What?
If you inject the bleach attacks the virus in the bloodstream, and you're
She's
good.
back there like, what is happening? What? No.
Our kids would come up with something like that, Brandon. That's something our children would come up with.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kill it. You just kill it in an instant.
You
Okay.
kill it off with the heat. The hot heat will burn it out. The steam and the saber-toothed tiger necklace, it will burn it.
Oh no. But yes, I appreciate
the orange
it.
peels. The orange peels.
Yes, you gotta have that citrus. Oh no.
Oh no. Bring it back. Bring it back.
So anyway, we're done with that. We're not gonna do that anymore. We don't none of that. With the social distancing was on point, and that makes me happy because it was just a really good example. And let's see what else was there. There was just a lot of stuff that happened that made me think, okay, if this is what you're doing on Inauguration Day and millions of people are watching, then hopefully that will start to bleed off into our country. One of the things was, I don't know if y'all heard the statement when Joe was swearing in like 1,000 people over Zoom or whatever it was. He said, I will fire you on the spot if you're not kind to people. Did y'all hear that?
I heard about that, but I didn't hear
I heard about it. Yeah.
I watched it. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And that is a complete shift.
Yeah.
180-degree turn from what we had.
It is. It is.
Ooh, not 360, Simone?
No. We're not going
that just
back.
means turning back around.
That just means we're going the way around. We're doing an about face.
The Pathfinder terminology you're using there. I'm proud of you.
Yes.
We're gonna rear march. We're gonna rear march this sucker right on out of there.
Oh my! I was trying to show Sean some of our old Pathfinder moves. He was not impressed.
He was not impressed.
Yeah.
About face.
Well, we need to consider the source. I'm sure Simone didn't do it right, so that's why he probably wasn't impressed.
That's true.
But Biden started getting back to work on like day one. Like
Day one.
During the motorcade, it seemed like he was getting stuff done.
I mean, he signed like 13 or 14 orders right after the inauguration.
Like 17.
Yeah, he was busy.
Listen, I know it's important to get back into the Paris Climate Accord and all that. I know it's important to do all that stuff for the environment, for the pipeline, everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's most important?
And student
Ain't no
loans.
student
student
loans till
loans.
Student loans
September.
until September.
Till September.
Man, that did something for my spirit. I was like, that's what I'm talking about, Joe.
Yes.
That's what
Get in
I'm
there,
talking
Joe.
about.
You defer, Joe. Defer. Get in
Defer,
there.
keep
Push it back,
deferring,
push it back,
and
push
then
it back.
cancel.
Okay. Yes, get with Bernie, y'all in AOC, and y'all figure that out. And September
Yes.
come and just hit delete. That's
Hit
all.
delete.
It's one button. It's just
I'm gonna
one
wake up.
button.
Let me wake up in
Just wipe them
October.
out. Wipe them
Let me
out.
wake up October 1st and see it paid in full. Let me just see that.
You've been forgiven. You just your
You
loans
don't
have
know.
been forgiven.
That's a whole sermon.
That's a
Yes.
whole
That's a
sermon.
sermon. Seriously,
And
that
on
is
the third
that
day.
is
We had to
Man, that
go
would
through.
guarantee I vote for you again in 4 years. Okay,
Listen.
I don't care what else you do.
I will vote for you early.
Listen,
I'm like
listen,
you.
Biden, you're gonna be 86, and I'm gonna still vote for you.
I'm gonna
Go
still
ahead.
vote you in.
106. I don't
I'm gonna
care.
vote you in.
Yes.
You cancel my loans.
Cancel my loans. We good, brother.
I
We
vote you
good.
for life.
King Biden.
Yes.
So I definitely appreciate that. The 100 days masking challenge is very important. I hope that we can get to that. I don't know if you all have heard this, but of course I know about the variant of the virus. We had an update or a notification that is here in North Carolina now that we had our first patient or whatever. So and that's how COVID was. When it first came, it was just a little here, a little there, and all of a sudden it was everywhere. So
yeah.
You know,
And
go ahead,
go ahead, Brandon. No, Brandon, because I announced you first today, so you could go first.
Please, Marcellus.
Yes.
So we're going by the full government today. Okay. So I don't, the president by himself doesn't have like absolute power, right? There's checks and balances. But one thing the president is the figurehead for the country, just like another leader. So if you see your leader enforcing and championing these things, it's got to go down to other people. And that's what really I'm hopeful for as well, that he's going to be wearing a mask everywhere he's at. His administration is going to be wearing a mask and following the rules as we know them to this day. And so that's going to start bleeding down to the rest of us.
Visibility is everything. So I do appreciate that he's actively wearing masks. They are actively social distancing, that they're, practicing the behavior. One would say they're modeling the behavior that they like to see.
Yes.
Absolutely. And that and verbiage is also everything. So in a time where a lot of people are saying, I don't want the government telling me to do something, mandating me, making me do this or that, I appreciate that they're calling it a mass challenge and making it more of a like, let's all in do this to help each other instead of a like, you better do this. And I think reasonable people realize a mandate is not saying you better do this or else. It's just saying we need to do this. But verbiage is truly everything. And in a time when we're very divided, I mean, remember still 70 plus million people still voted for Trump. So, we are still a divided nation. So in a time where you have that many people who believe COVID is a hoax or believe they can do what they want, wearing masks is not going to help them or save them, I appreciate that they are trying to use verbiage that is more unifying than it is separative.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which is again an about face from what we had before, because Trump was all about fear tactics and trying to be the strong man and all this kind of thing. And what's interesting about all those people that voted for him and that stormed the Capitol for him, not one of them got pardoned. And they are not happy about it. Some of the MAGA folks are very upset. They're confused. They are bewildered. They thought he was going to do martial law. They thought when Biden got inaugurated, they were like, "What happened? I thought we had a plan."
Yeah,
And
they
so some of them
lost.
are starting to turn on him because they're like, we rode for you, like all the way to the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully
Mm-hmm.
some of that will kind of, bleed away because he could have pardoned him. Like he could have done a full scale whatever and didn't.
Even in a lot of that, I do see a lot of them, a lot of those people, a lot of those folks who stormed the Capitol being captured and taken
Yes.
in. But I'm also seeing the other side of that wonderful justice system that we have, where there was a 17-year-old young white woman who stole
The
Nancy Pelosi's
laptop
computer, and she tried to sell it to the
to the
Russians,
Russians.
and they released her to the custody of her mother. And I was reminded of the story of, was it
Khalif Browder,
Browder,
who allegedly
who allegedly stole a backpack and
Mhm.
went
3
to
years.
Rikers Island for 3 years, and ultimately committed suicide because of the atrocities that he
Treatment.
faced while he was at Rikers Island. But on the
Mhm.
other hand of this, you got somebody who stole a whole laptop, go
Stole it
sell
from
it to the
who?
Russians. Nancy
Pelosi's
Pelosi's
laptop,
office.
right?
She was
I
one that
missed
she was in
that.
the she was in the group of people that stormed the Capitol, stole her laptop, and was going to sell it to Russians, and she gets released to her mother.
That is inappropriate.
That's not right.
That's white
That ain't right.
privilege. That is injustice. I'm sorry. No. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
It's
care if you're
just
a minor. No. That's insane.
it's just
Crazy,
privilege
man.
on privilege. I
It's
also
good.
saw just reflecting back on the stuff that happened in the Capitol, because more stuff is coming out now. This is crazy how much stuff is coming out now. But I also saw another video
Mhm.
where the guy who had like the lamb whatever and the
Yes.
horns on,
Yes.
I saw a video of him walking into the like the central area where all the senators and stuff are, and there was a police officer walking behind him, casually walking behind him, and he was like, "Hey guys, just want to let y'all know this is the most sacred space to do, so try not to be in here too long." They were like, "Yeah, we're leaving soon."
This was the same man who refused to eat because he was wanting what was
The
it?
vegan diet.
He wanted a vegan diet, and they ended up giving in to him and giving it to him.
Because he went on hunger strike for like 3 days because they wouldn't feed him food
Oh
anymore.
well.
I'm sorry.
Sounds like a
Are you
personal problem to
kidding
me. Don't go
me
to jail.
right now?
Right. Yes.
His lawyer came on CNN talking about he needs to be pardoned by Trump because he came at the invitation of the president. And Trump was like,
Oh,
crickets,
but
crickets.
I thought the president didn't do nothing. He didn't incite nothing. I
No,
thought Trump
he threw him under
didn't
the bus.
encourage them.
See, they be
Oh.
telling on themselves all the time, man. They be telling.
Mm-hmm.
But part of me wonders if that's why they extended the time on when they were going to start the trial for the impeachment, because as the days go on, more information is coming out, and people are starting to really understand how much danger they really were in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm glad they didn't do the trial immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Maybe Mike Pence will be a surprise witness
Woo!
against him
man, the
when he
plot
realizes. Yeah.
that's when I'll turn the news back on.
Right.
We watching Chris at night. Chris and Don together.
Chris.
BFFs. So what? Hey, so man, back to kind of the performance and who we saw up there. There was a lot of good representation up there.
Yeah.
Lots.
And obviously, the person who stole the show, and we're talking, a lot of folks are still talking about, Miss Amanda Gorman. She killed it up there.
Yes.
I'm not much of a
She's
spoken
amazing.
word person, but even I have to be like, okay.
I was moved.
Mm-hmm. Touched.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She
Only
did
22?
22, 23, something like that.
Yeah. And handled herself very well. She looked beautiful. And I mean, the poem was just moving. And I understand she has 2 books that are not even out yet, and they're already on the bestseller list.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
She ain't gonna have no problem selling those.
Yeah.
She good.
Her career is made.
She's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wanted to read one of the lines that I loved. It says, "We the successors of a country and a time where a skinny Black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to form a union with a purpose." Really, really beautiful words.
Mostly putting these
Yeah.
words together and these phrases together, be like, "Woo!"
Man, amazing.
Yeah,
That
I
was dope.
love
We
it.
had that. We had the lady that was doing the sign language.
Yes, yes. She
Mm,
did the Pledge of Allegiance and she did it in sign. And I mean that was awesome. She was kind of early on in the program,
I think I missed her.
but she did a great job. I mean, that was just like I mean, I just saw a lot. I think the first person who prayed, I want to say he was a Catholic minister,
Uh-huh.
maybe. And then I noticed at the end, they brought the reverend out so he could
Yes.
bring it home.
Listen,
He
it
did.
was the reverend. The reverend at the end. It was a prayer slash sermonette slash
It
sermon.
was.
That's what
It
that
was.
was.
Yes,
Mhm.
it
He kept
was.
talking. I was like, "Bro, are you really praying or are you really speaking? Like, what's good?"
You know how that
Sometimes
is.
you don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know. You don't know with a black pastor. You really don't.
The African angels came upon him and he
They
just
did.
said, I must preach. I must
Yes.
pray and preach.
You're gonna reclaim some of his time today.
Right. It was so good to see so much diversity and
Yeah.
representation just throughout the day. I loved it. And that's what we need. That's what our kids need to see. It's what we need to see.
Right.
And I just don't want us to revert back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like we got to come even harder because of the last 4 years.
Yes.
One thing you can even look at in Biden's cabinet and a lot of the picks that he's made, it's a wide variety.
Mhm.
You have some Native Americans that
Mhm.
are in there. You
Mhm.
have individuals who are trans. You have
His most
Mhm.
recent pick, right, was a transgender.
say what? Which one?
His most recent pick. I
I
can't
believe
remember
so. I
what
believe so.
office it was for.
The trans woman, I believe.
I didn't want to get
Trans
it wrong,
woman.
so I didn't say it.
I think it was a trans woman. So yeah, so it's a lot of diversity up in there.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Yeah, we need that. We need to see all of that. And I heard some people, the same woman who I think I talked to y'all last week about, who was bad mouthing Reverend Al, was also bad mouthing Kamala and Joe Biden. And she was talking about
Mm.
how Joe picked all these black folks under duress. Like he didn't want to pick them. I don't freaking care. Even if he didn't want to. First of all, I don't know how she would know that. I don't freaking care if he didn't want to. Get
Mm.
them in there. I don't care if you want to, if you like them, if you don't like them. Just put
Well,
them. If they're qualified, hire them.
guess what? I'm sure Donald Trump picked some black people under duress. I mean, it's just
Y'all, is Ben
Ben
Carson
Carson
underneath
ain't
the
heard
White
a
House?
peep from him.
Where is he? Where is Ben? That's what we need to do, is do a search.
where in the world is Ben
Where
Carson?
in the world
Where
is
is
Ben
Ben
Carson?
Carson?
I haven't seen hide nor hair
Not
or
hide nor
Hiding,
hair.
boy.
Not
or
hide
candy
nor hair.
nor hair.
Not
He's
for
so
months.
forgettable.
Not since I heard he had COVID. Like, what was it, 3 or 4 months ago? And then
Right.
nothing. Crickets, crickets, crickets.
Who was the HUD secretary? Do we have that
I don't know if
person
we
for
had that
Joe?
field yet. I'm not sure.
Maybe he gonna
I know
slide right in there.
I believe he
know.
picked Mayor Pete for what, transportation?
I
Something like
believe
that.
so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Openly gay man,
Yeah.
married.
I
Yep.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's leadership, and I don't know I'm not sure how this lady wanted to define duress, but I think in leadership, sometimes you're going to have to pick people who are not just different in appearance, but different in, like, maybe even sides from you, like, just that's really just working together with both sides to try to be bipartisan.
Yep.
And I think it just shows that maybe we are looking at the people who are most qualified instead of
Mm-hmm.
the people who make us feel good and who are our
Mm-hmm.
yes persons.
Yes.
Maybe we actually look for people who know what they're doing or have some
Yes.
background. Yeah.
Exactly. Stop disqualifying people just because they don't look like you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. These people are educated and they have the skills that they need to do the job. So
Right.
I don't know how this woman would know that. We're gonna talk offline about her because I want to see if y'all know who she is. But I'm like, what is wrong with you, ma'am?
Yeah.
But anyway, the representation was beautiful. I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was really nice.
Also,
I'll say this. I ain't even
go
thinking
ahead.
about Trump right now, man. Like, he done from my mind. He
He
gone.
gone.
He gone
He
from
gone.
my mind right now.
I just want to hear about any businesses that go up in flames, any charges. I'm
That's
here
what
for
I
those.
want.
I'm here for those
Aftermath.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want. So I'm here for it.
Anything that says Trump going to jail, any of those things, I'm here.
Right,
here for
exactly.
it.
Bankruptcies, any of that. I want to hear about that.
Melania breaking up, anything.
Leaving, yeah,
Anything.
yeah. Good.
I just- good.
Trump got divorced. Good.
Good.
So y'all know that me and Tiffany watch CNN quite a bit, and the anchors were on the come up. Abby Phillips has a new show.
Phillips.
Caitlin Collins
Yes.
is now like a senior White House court. People was getting promotions left and
They
right.
getting promoted.
They was getting, because the Trump presidency. I mean, you had to be ready. It was every day you was out there doing something. So I wonder if there's any correlation between all his foolishness and them getting promotions, because they really been putting in work.
It was working It was working hard.
Yeah, everybody got promotions.
I think journalists may have done the most work these last 4 years, because I do think there is some. I hate saying this at all, because I don't want to give Trump any credit for anything, but I do think there was something to his fake news thoughts, because I think a lot of times the media shows us what they want us to see.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, it may not be the whole picture, the entire story. It's always a different, and usually this is not in our favor. You think about when like even when George Floyd got killed, the headlines are different than when like a young white person gets killed or something like that. So I think the news has a spin on everything, but I do think these last 4 years journalism has been tested, and I think that they had to do more fact checking than they've ever had before. They've done more digging than they ever had before. And I think some of them need to be rewarded for that. Like the true journalists out there who were getting to the bottom of stuff, who were fact checking, who were following the sources, who were getting the actual story. I think those folks need to be rewarded for sure.
Yeah, that's very fair.
And the ones who were lying and have continued to peddle this lie about everything being stolen and all that they need to be reprimanded in some way, because
get them out of there.
Yeah, you contributed. You were complicit in that uprising on the 6th. So absolutely. So I know we said Trump's not on our minds. He's not. We're just here for the charges. Any negativity, we're here for that. Which is not normally how we are. We don't like bad things that happen to people. We like people to do well. But Trump, he's a special individual.
Actions.
Absolutely. Consequences.
Yeah. Play stupid games, get stupid prizes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So do we think better days are to come? Are we optimistic?
I am. How do I phrase it? I am an optimistic pessimist.
You're pessimistic.
Okay.
Pessimistically optimistic.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
So for me, I am very blessed to be in the position that I'm in. As far as I am middle class, upper middle class, do well, have a great family, house, this and the other. My needs are taken care of. What I would love though is something definitely geared towards Black folks, to kind of help us a little more, because we have been hit some of the worst during this COVID outbreak and things along those lines. So yeah, that if we get to $2,000, that's great, but I really want something geared towards more Black people that may have a lower socioeconomic status that could really benefit from extra assistance and resources.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I'm glad you said the thing about the $2,000, because we've really been thinking about how to use that money. Of course, we want to save some of it, but as you said, Brandon, we're in a place of privilege to where we've been able to, keep our jobs and do extra work and do well financially during this time. And so how can we give back? And I think the three of us have been doing quite a bit of giving this season, but I definitely want to continue that, because we're not in the same, my family, we're not in the same boat as many people who are struggling to get food on the table. And so we want to help other people.
Yeah. And as we talked about last week, I'm sorry, Simone, I cut you off?
No, go ahead.
Okay. As we talked about last week, many different faces in the African American community have many different needs. And, I think we all want to see things that ultimately help. And I know that the wheels of politics move slowly sometimes, but I would love to see more COVID relief. Um,
Yes.
Whatever that means, stimulus or rent forgiveness or more rent assistance for people who are having trouble paying their rent or even
Mortgage forgiveness. Let's go.
Forgiveness.
mortgage forgiveness.
Yes. Mortgage. Oh, ooh.
Mortgage forgiveness.
That hit me right.
It touched me in a
That hit
special
me,
place.
guys. That hit you like
More unemployment assistance, just things to help level the playing field for everybody that's hurting. And I know
Yeah.
us three are not in a place where we are hurting as much as other people, but I don't want to see another winter season where people are standing in long lines for food banks. Even if COVID's
Absolutely.
going to be with us for a while, I understand that.
Mhm.
I want to see equity. I think Brandon mentioned that earlier this week in one of his posts. I just want to see equity. And then also, there's other things I want. I'm looking for police reform. I'm looking for um, justice for crimes that have been committed. Those include Trump's crimes.
Absolutely.
I just want to see change in that light, and I'm hopeful that things will happen. I don't think everything will be solved or resolved. And even 4 years prior to this, hate existed in our country. Racism was still very real. What it was not prevalent. It was not on our newspapers, on the front page. It was not, in the stores. It just wasn't out.
It was more covert. It's
Yeah.
microaggressions. Now it's more that old fashioned stuff.
Yeah,
And I don't.
I saw a dude on Facebook was like, "Man, I ain't over the last 4 years. This is the first time I had to worry about going to a Kroger." I mean,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know it's not gonna go
Mm-hmm.
away. Some of that old hate has to die
Mm-hmm.
out, and some
Mm-hmm.
people have to start teaching their children new ways to love and interact with people. But I would hope that some of that racism would just go dormant again, and that we would
Mm-hmm.
learn how to respectfully disagree. Like, you ain't got to agree with me. You don't even have to like me, but let's be respectful of one another.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to see in line with people who've done wrong, like Trump getting those consequences. I want to see people who are racist, who do microaggressive things, and on these college campuses and all across the spectrum. There need to be consequences there, because one of the things that he signed had to do with gender and sexual identity and discrimination prevention. We need that specifically for race as well, right? So if a student accuses you of of discrimination, racial discrimination, there needs to be an investigation. There needs to be some type of consequence for that, because that's what we need.
Yep.
We really need like people to actually lose their jobs, be put on not not paid leave or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because so many times it's when microaggressions are so small and so quick that it's hard to verify, and oftentimes people are just left like, well, I'm not going to say anything because I can't prove it. But it's killing us on the inside, so we need to see more of that, and I hope that people are held accountable for all discrimination.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So I know that we said we want to do an All-American recap. I don't know if y'all watch All-American. Do y'all watch?
Y'all need to watch.
If you watch All-Americans, say that right now in the chat.
Yes. And
That
who's your
show is so
favorite character?
stressful.
Put a football in the chat.
That show is so stressful. How these 16, 17-year-olds wilding out like this?
Wait.
They need
Before we recap, I do want to say that we talked about whether or not we should even include shows in here on Corona Times, but I think this is a real Corona-esque show, because we all started watching this during Corona. I can't remember which person. I know it wasn't me.
It was Brandon.
Brandon recommended that we watch it, and got caught up on all 2 seasons, and then it went away. That's terrible.
Yes.
When it's over, it's just gone, and it just came back this week, and I'm so excited about it. Not only that the show is back on, but it's something that we share together in these Corona times. Like, for real, we share it together in these Corona times.
It's our show.
It's our show. is our
Yes.
show.
And it literally got me through like that first part or whatever of the pandemic. And that would
Yes.
be the one thing me and Sean would come together and we watch it together. My husband does not stay awake for shows ever. He is the worst, but he watches All American. So it's that, and there's some other shows too that hold a special place. There was something else we was watching too. I can't
Oh,
remember.
when Ozark comes
Oh,
back,
Ozark.
having a
Ozark,
recap.
yes.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I
Mhm.
I was happy to see it come back. If y'all haven't watched it, I'm not gonna try to give y'all no spoilers if y'all still waiting. But you know what? I can't give y'all too long. I just want to say I burned for Jordan.
I
Simone
burned
burned
for
for
Jordan.
Jordan.
I burned for him.
We burned for Jordan. Spencer is arrogant. Koo is
So
just
intense.
yes.
Calm down, Spencer. You're gonna have a heart attack.
He's
Have a
just
heart
like,
attack at 17.
I mean, really, he's got the weight of the world on his little
On
shoulders.
his shoulders. On his messed up shoulders.
He's carrying. His numb shoulder. Oh Lord.
There's children, there's teenagers having relations in the house.
Yeah, teenagers having the sex. Having the sex.
my mom would have walked. Just my look. My mom would have walked in on me, boy. It would have been a wrap. I would have been off the boarding school.
In what world do kids just have the whole house to themselves all the time? Just
My
doing
mom
this.
is gone. You know,
She's
my mom
she's
is
gone
gone.
away
What do you mean?
for hours. For hours. We'll be here by ourselves for hours.
Y'all know my mom. The house was never empty for hours.
Right.
No.
Lots of supervision.
Lots of supervision. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. Just go ahead.
I don't know what angle they're going to take that because it's only episode 1, but I do notice they're skipping COVID. They haven't talked about COVID
I
at all.
appreciate that.
Yeah, I do too. I'm happy about that. But they are talking about Black Lives Matter. And I guess we'll see how that plays more into the show in a little bit. But I have a question, y'all. What do y'all think happened with Spencer and Olivia over the summer?
I think they had some kind of relations.
We know they had some relations, boy.
They had some kind of relationship. But what's messed up is what's the girl's name? Olivia?
Layla. Oh wait, Olivia, yes.
Is that who you mean, Olivia?
The sister, yeah, Jordan's sister. Yeah, Olivia.
Yeah, but he's also
With
supposed to be
Layla.
with Layla.
Yeah, which is Liv's best friend.
Best friend.
But their relationship is weird.
Their relationship is very weird.
Yeah, they probably don't need to be friends.
Probably
they burn for the same people. They keep burning for the same people.
That's true because Liv now
Asher.
is Layla's ex.
Asher. Exactly.
They're gonna keep burning. They're gonna keep burning for the same people. They're gonna be burning for real.
They're
gonna
get burned up. Right. We need to have an episode about actual burning.
At the actual burning.
Like creams.
I ain't seen not one plastic wrapper be open.
No, not one.
No,
We've seen a baby be born. We've seen a baby.
Yes.
I did not appreciate Simone,
I know
my
Simone.
namesake,
Your
leaving
character.
Jordan out in the waiting room.
Mhm.
I was like, let Jordan in. He wants to
Let
be
him
with
in.
you.
Oh
Had
my
to-
I
gosh,
would
let
let
him
him
in.
Had him out there
I
looking
would let him
sad.
in.
Man.
He's pacing back and forth like a fool, though. What are you doing? It's not your baby.
Yeah.
Wait for her to
He's-
call you. She didn't even
He's doing the
call.
most. He was trying to be there for her.
These kids, these children.
I also want to talk about just real quickly. We mentioned this earlier in the polos. These kids, Brennan said, "Yeah, y'all gonna burn for Jordan," and Jordan's 17. He's not 17. He's in his 20s. But let me tell you, that one character that plays for the other school, he looked like he about 35.
That's a grown man. The dude from Westlake, a grown man.
Yes.
He grown man.
is.
He's
He's
45.
Somebody needs to check his. Somebody needs to check his.
I mean,
His
his
identification.
shoulders are big. He's huge. I'm like,
He's
boy, you are
somebody's
not a
granddaddy.
teenager. Mhm. He's as old as Tay Diggs. They're the same age.
That's very real.
I know. Always smiling, always there. I'm like, what are you doing? Go.
Always evil.
Oh, hey.
Always just
Yes.
grimy for no reason.
Yeah,
I
he's
know.
just
I
he's
know.
a terrible villain. Huh? I don't like
Yeah.
him.
But I think overall, I just don't like all the autonomy. Like all that, they just act like they are in charge. Like, how does Spencer keep going back and forth between schools? his mother has to sign something somewhere.
Somewhere.
You know, if Kaden tells me I want to go to this school, well, no, this is where you're gonna go. Like you're the child.
But no, he has to save it. He has to save the school.
I am going to
y'all getting close to y'all getting too close now. Y'all getting too close to giving stuff away.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
But you know what? This is not, I don't know if y'all watched Beverly Hills 90210, but this is not far off from that. I mean, many years ago, they had these teenagers then, they had all the autonomy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they was doing everything.
True.
So,
yeah.
You know, it's just,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just now we're looking back like, come on now. I didn't have that much freedom at 17.
No.
18. It's
I'm
ridiculous.
glad I didn't have that much freedom.
No.
Because they got problems for sure.
Oh, yes. They need some guidance for sure. So we will be back with more. We'll be back with more updates.
Yes. So y'all better watch. Be watching the episodes.
Yes.
Okay, what we got next? Gratitudes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
gratitude. Gratitudes, and I think that's about it. I think that wraps us up for today.
I'm thankful All American is back.
Me too. Seriously,
I need something to watch on TV again.
Yeah, I'm thankful that some of the shows are starting to come back.
Yes, seriously, because we need them. Mm-hmm. We need them, and when they go away, it makes me sad.
It does. It does. Because there's really nothing on TV, y'all. There's nothing to watch.
I'm thankful for the CW app. Doing the Lord's work and letting us just watch it without
no signing in or nothing.
No new logins, no asking for your card, or nothing of that. No, just log right on in.
Yes, they said come in. So I'm thankful for that too, and I'm thankful for these Corona times tonight. I was shaky when I first got on. I was tired, but I feel good and I feel rejuvenated. Yeah, so thankful for y'all.
Yeah.
Brandon, what are you thankful for? You have not said.
I did. I said I was thankful for these shows coming back.
Oh, okay.
Like you watch TV anyway. This is,
I watch my shows.
There's one that you all are watching I need to watch. Or maybe it's just you, Brandon.
This is Us?
Something? I need to watch that. I'm behind.
You get caught up so we can talk about it.
Okay. All right.
We can talk about that as well.
So there's our gratitude.
There's the gratitudes. Well, as Simone says always, we got to be respectful of your time. We've been here for a little bit, so I guess we need to wrap this thing up.
Wrap it up.
Yes.
That's what they need to do on All American. Don't need no more babies, okay?
No more. No. That's what some of y'all need to be doing these Corona times too, because I've seen a lot of babies.
Babies. Y'all was out here just doing it, huh?
And doing it well, apparently.
Doing it very well.
Doing it well.
Doing it well.
Ain't nothing else to do, huh?
Okay, see, it's time for us to go.
Yes. Corona after dark.
On that note, we want to thank you so much for watching with us. Remember, again, we're asking for people who are single, as single and dating, whatever, single, to volunteer to be a part of our show. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. We're going to talk about
any
dating.
Age group. Any
age, male or female, whatever. We are open. We just want to have some people that are not married talk about what it means to be single. Yes. And then also just want to remind you to tune in with us, to like, share, subscribe, comment, hit up Cooking with Callie, before Valentine's Day, because she's got a Valentine's Day special. Use that coupon code Corona Times, all one word, on the website, save 15%. And till we come back together again, remember to wash your hands in these Corona times.
Keep your distance, even if you have your vaccine.
Yes. Stay safe, wear your mask, all that good stuff. Yeah. And remember, 2021, we still want justice for Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
Definitely want that. I heard there's a petition for Mr. Cameron to get impeached.
Yes.
I'm going to sign up.
Yeah. That came up in the children's Sabbath school this morning. I'm happy to report. Kaden was like, what is going on?
Mommy, what is impeachment? What is that, Mommy?
We'll talk about it later. Gotta train them early.
Yes, that's right. Well, until next time, Mr. Brandon, you want to take us out?
We remain yours.
Remain yours.
Remain yours.
Have a good night, everybody.